Good evening. It's Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern. This is Cop Talk Live, changing cop culture over on all the social media platforms that you follow. I'm going to try, I want to see if I can get you guys chat so I can see a little bit more. We're trying some new things, some new bells and whistles. We do this every Wednesday night, 9 p.m. Eastern, 9 Eastern, 8 Central, 7 Mountain, 6 Pacific. So if you need to find out where that is for your time zone, just go to Google and do it. I'm also working on a chat. Hopefully I can see you guys at the bottom here. I can see a Bev, Dunpeel, 7830, how are ya? Manny Sloan, how are ya? Rachel Morgan, what's going on? Michael Dietrich. You don't believe in gun laws? No, I believe all gun laws are unconstitutional. I do. You have the right to keep and bear arms. I don't know how much more simple it can get than that. So I think I'm pretty clear about that one. I have to find a nice, can I do this where you guys can enjoy the chat better without all these boxes in the way? It's pre-production stuff I'm trying to work on so I could get better with you guys. There's that. As always, Jamal Chambers, what's going on? What about felons? Michael Dietrich, what about felons? Did the convicted felon pay their price to society? Meaning, you get arrested for, shooting up a bank, and you're convicted by a court of law to serve 20 years in prison. And you go through the Department of Corrections or prisons, state prison, and you I don't know if felony, if it has to do with a bank, if that's instantly federal. I don't know how that works. So it could be federal prosecution, but you're going to spend time in prison. When you are out, you have paid your debt to society. At least that's the belief of our system. You go, you get convicted, you are done with your sentencing, if you will, and you have paid your debt to society. So I believe that you have all the rights that you should have all the rights returned to you after you've paid your debt to society, if that makes sense. So I believe 100% you should own a firearm. Otherwise, what's the system for? Irish Rover in Florida. Did you notice the gun was still in the row? Yeah, I did a whole breakdown. For those of you who are wondering, we'll talk about that a little bit with the female police officer who shot suspect in her own leg. I did a full breakdown on the Officer Dominic Izzo channel. You guys could check it out from there. Let me do this. I got to do some maneuvering. I'm going to move this around. I could do this. Look at this. Here is this. I get to see all you guys in your awesome chats. I'll put this here. Boom. Yeah. Thought on Trump saying he'll exonerate all cops, Jamal Chambers. I had no clue that he was going to exonerate all cops. I wasn't aware of that one. So I don't know. Man, I really need an intern to figure out how to properly post the display of comments so you people can see you people. It can be a racist comment on that, isn't it? Michael Dietrich, stop making sense. I'm a smart dude. I just don't know. Our system is so damn broken, right? We have cops who are not going to jail for shit, and they claim, qualified immunity and Graham v. Connor. Did he know what he knew at the time? And blah, blah, blah. And then we have these men and women who go to prison for X amount of years, and they're still vilified. We shit on them all over the place, right? They are in prison. They serve 5 years, 10 years, whatever the court convicted them on, and the judge sentenced them. They are, last time I checked, they've served their sentence. They paid their debt to society. As far as I'm concerned, I think those people should be able to apply for a job as a cop. I would rather have a felon as a cop than half the friggin' kids who are on the street right now doing that crap. Irish, let's see, I already answered that one. Hot 25-year-old intern. All right, cool. I got to figure out how I want this set up. As we're doing that, hey, let's check some of your voicemails. Don't forget, every week I go over your voicemail, 708-982-0974. It's 708-982-0974. I do like hearing what you guys have to say. I want to know what's important to you. I take your feedback. I do want you guys to call in when you have something you wind up saying. So we'll answer these together. But let me move this here. I'm gonna monkey around there this while I listen to your voice. Ooh, that could be good. Wait a second. Here, look at this. Yeah, I don't mind that. I think that's a winner. Is that not? I think that's a winner. There you go. I think with me, with the you could see the chat still. This is why I need an intern. I've been doing live shows for 6 years, and I still can't get this right. All right, let's listen to your voice. Anyway, 708-982-0974 is the number. Call, text, voice note, voicemail. I always take your calls live. I love hearing what you guys have to say. And, let me hear what I have to say about this.
My name is Jack Welch. Just a quick comment on your show last night. Typically, I really agree with you. I love your show. A couple years military, no police background, though. Did want to comment on the kid. Yeah, he was walking on the other side of the road, but looks like a very not busy road. Probably people are flying down there. I think the passing lane probably the safest place to be walking in. The cops' lights, about night vision. That kid was totally blinded. He couldn't have hit the cop car if he tried to shoot. I tried to watch it in fast time. Looked to me like he was throwing the gun away. At no time did he point it toward the officer. Not sure what the intervention is for the police there, but I mean he was in no way threatening the guy. My opinion only. Another point is he immediately went for the first aid kit, which shows guilt to me. He didn't bother to see if the guy was down, hurt, dead. He just ran for that first aid kit. I think he knew he screwed up on the shooting. The other point, I watched a couple other news shows that covered it, and the point they were making was the same thing. He did not clear the gun. Again, not a cop, but watch 1,000 cop shows. You shoot the guy, you run over, you kick the gun as far away as you can, handcuff him if you have to. This guy took his eyes off the suspect, got the first aid kit, went back there, yelled about.
There's a part two. Let me get to that really quickly because you left more message.
Yeah, Jack Welch again, just finishing up my message. My point was that the guy the cop obviously knew that he'd screwed up. I saw the gun go away. He should have immediately cleared the area, and I think they were making a point. That's why he was on the murder charge, because it was his fault for not clearing the area and going for the first aid kit. Again, typically I agree with what you say. I just looked at it in a little bit different light. That's all I wanted to say. Have a good point about the women cops. I know you showed that one, looked like she was from the UK or something, looked like a 12-year-old boy. Funny thing, and obviously the culture is just 1,000% different, but imagine that girl probably isn't even carrying a gun. Not only do the men not carry guns over there, it's the women also. I looked it up. Actually, the 1 out of 25 cops in the UK are allowed to carry guns, special training, special psychological training. Gun can be taken out of their hands for any reason at any time by their boss. As far as I know, London is just as big, if not bigger, than New York. They have a lot of crime there. Just interesting how the culture is so much different that the average cop like me, 5'9", 160 pounds, you can be a cop in the UK and not even worry about carrying a gun. Just some.
No, I appreciate that, Jack, and I'm going to disagree with you. You're wrong on a lot of the accounts. I want to go back because I want your words to be said here, not mine. I'm not going to. I appreciate your perspective, and this is why we do these videos. so that the citizens can get educated on what the police can and can't do. A couple different things. When we talk about charging for a crime, intent is a big factor. Like, you don't have to know, and you don't have to know that you were doing 35 miles an hour and it was 20, and you don't have to know that the speed. I didn't know the speed limit was 20 miles an hour. Well, you didn't have the intent to speed, but you didn't know it's still a crime. There's a difference between first-degree murder and second-degree murder. I've used this example a lot, and I'll dumb it down. Like first-degree murder or second-degree murder, crime of passion. You're going to walk in and you're seeing your wife jock your neighbor. You went to work, you come back home, and they're just going at it. You don't think, you pick up a bat that's in the room and you beat them both to death. Crime of passion. That would be along lines of a second-degree murder. First degree is you look at it, take about a minute, you go outside. You're outside for 10 minutes cleaning off one of your samurai swords, and then you go back inside and you hack them all to pieces. So it's intent. You knew what you were doing. You were clear of mind to take that time. So the first-degree murder charge on this, once again, it's overreaching big time when it comes to this shooting. And I want to listen to your points, and I want to kind of take them one by one for a second.
My name is Jack Welch. Just a quick comment on your show last night. Typically, I really agree with you. I love your show. A couple years military, no police background though. Did want to comment on the kid. Yeah, he was walking on the other side of the road, but looks like a very not busy road. Probably people are flying down there. I think the passing lane probably the safest place to be walking in.
So let's look at that for a second. And the issue is going to be community caretaking. And do the police have an issue or a duty to caretake? And to be honest, if this is the way the public is going to treat it, I say all cops, if you see somebody walking down the road like this, fuck them. Drive past them. Fuck them. Do not put yourself in danger again. I don't care if somebody's limping in the roadway, since the public does not want you to do any community caretaking, and they're going to vilify you the second you do. Well, it's not against the law to walk down the road one way, but fuck them. Bye. See you. Do not interact with people. That's just my 2 cents. I would not do it if I went back to work today. Number two, it's a safe place because he's walking. I think the body camera said it was like 11:30 at night down the highway, and there's no one around. It's suspicious. Now, it's not against the law, but at the same time, too, it is community caretaking. I would assume, based on my years of training, my years as an experienced police officer, my experience of just human nature in general, I'm going to think that there's either a level of impairment or intoxication, or even worse, maybe this guy got in an argument with his girlfriend. She kicked him out of the car. Now he's walking to a different space. Bottom line is, it's not normal. No one really says, I'm going to go walking down the highway in the middle of the road, unless I know that there's like residential areas in between. Maybe he's trying to go walk to the 7-Eleven or they still have White Hens? I don't know. And he's going to go down that road, and that's going to happen. I don't know if that's the case. But I digress for a second. So number one, it would be 100% community caretaking in the aspect of, I don't want this guy stumbling in the roadway and somebody else doesn't have these type of lights, and then they hit him, and then that person kills them. And now, because we're cops, we charge everybody. We're going to charge them, and we're going to do all this stuff and blah, blah, blah. Or maybe the guy kills him, and then all of a sudden the guy swerves and kills somebody else. You see, there's a lot of what ifs on this. So number one, it's either black or white. You guys are all on your own. And I think cops and community caretaking, you should alleviate that. And I think we should call the social workers. So the next time you see somebody walking down the road, leave them be. It's not your job. Call the social worker, call the nurse, call the psychologist. Hey, dispatch, yeah, I got a guy walking down the road. Nothing illegal. Just 11:30 at night walking down the road. Not my problem. Keep driving. Keep driving. Keep driving. Let's continue with what you said.
Wife, about night vision. That kid was totally blinded. He couldn't have hit the cop car if he tried to shoot.
Okay, so now you're saying he couldn't have hit the cop car when he was totally blinded. Do you know that for certain? Just because I see the cop car is a pretty big object, and all I have to do is raise my pistol and start shooting at anything, and it's going to hit something, or it's going to keep flying by. So again, you can't disprove a negative, right? So you're talking about things that we haven't even there was nothing that happened on it, so we'll never know. We'll never know if that would happen or not.
Tried to watch it in fast time. looked to me like he was throwing the gun away. At no time did he point it toward the officer. Not sure what the intervention is for the police there, but I mean,
no intervention. There is no intervention. You want to take your time and talk to somebody with a gun? You have at it. You have at it. I'm sorry. What do you expect? If you're going to do this, then start lobbying for a change to be held that you expect that an officer can return fire only. So as a sworn officer, you have to take a round to the chest in your vest. We're going to give you, you're going to have a big, what were they called? The plates that were in, I can't remember what they were called. Steel plates that were in your vest. I never wore one. I just wore the vest normally. And you got to be able to take a round and then go, okay, now I can draw on fire. You public are ridiculous. You guys all watch too much TV, shoot them in the leg, blah, 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 blah. You think that it's going to be easy to shoot a small projectile under a high-stress circumstance with low light or artificial light on uneven ground in a high-stress, rapidly evolving circumstance. And then when I defend cops, you go, oh, you're a bootlicker. Your mother is waiting. Your mother is waiting. It's bedtime. Go tuck her in and give her some tongue while you're doing it. I'm here to defend the profession of law enforcement. I'm not here to side with bootlickers or the all cops are bastard crew. This was a good, lawful shoot. Sadly, a subject. So you didn't talk about the onus on the kid either. And I don't even know how old he was. I think he was a teen, 19 or something. Kid to me. If he's walking down the street and he sees some lights, throw the gun. I'd get rid of it. I already talked about Force Science Institute has studies, and it's I believe it's like the acceleration or the advancement of attack, where there's a time of how fast it's perceived, how fast it's actually processed by the brain, all of this. The second he goes and he produces, I'm talking, it could have been, we see it. We see it. We're going to pull it out. Right here. And even before there, you could 100% start firing. If you have somebody walking and they're not obeying your commands, I do not know what the intent of anyone is. So you automatically want to lay the blame that the cop is, you said it was he's guilty. I'm going to play your words. He's guilty of first-degree murder because instead of checking on him, he went to go and get a first aid kit. Well, this kid was guilty of assault with a deadly weapon on a cop, or just having it in his hand. He just chose to throw it away after what? After the cops just said he was going to fire at him? So I disagree with you on this, and I want to continue with your criticism.
You know about night vision. That kid was totally blinded. He couldn't have hit the cop car if he tried to shoot. I tried to watch it in fast time. Looked to me like he was throwing the gun away. At no time did he point it toward the officer. Not.
It doesn't make a difference, and we had this conversation in the academy a lot. How much if I have a pistol? This is a tripod. It's a tripod, right? And I think I could maybe do that. It's a tripod. How much action? Well, how much time do I go? Do you want to risk that? Do you want to risk and do you want to risk the possibility that I'm taking it out like this and I'm going to throw it, or I take it out like this and I push it right at it? Are you supposed to wait as a police officer to go from here to here? Oh no, he threw it away. But by the time the kid produced it here, 100% light him up. He chose the path he was going on. If the gun is here, all the kid had to do is this. That's it. Break his tripod. That's a piece of shit anyways. That's all he had to do. So the fact that he went for a hand to do it, doesn't matter if it's a BB gun, doesn't matter if you think you didn't shoot at him. I am not going to sit there and take that risk. It's as simple as that.
The intervention is for the police there, but I mean, he was in no way threatening the guy. My opinion only. Another point is he immediately went for the first aid kit, which shows guilt to me. He didn't bother to see if the guy was down.
How? What? No offense. The fuck is he supposed to do? So he didn't go and check on him, but he went to go get the first aid kit, right? So his intent was to go and stop the bleeding. Well, you're extremely disingenuous in your accusations because what should he have done? Should he have walked over and see if he wanted his cock sucked before he got the first aid kit? Let me see if you can feel better first. Now let me kiss it, make it better. Then I'll go get the first aid kit. This is ridiculous.
He just ran for that first aid kit. I think he knew he screwed up on the shooting. The other point, I watched a couple other.
Okay, so you think he knew he screwed up on the shooting. I think the kid knew, damn, I'm walking around here with a gun, and the kid doesn't know. I'm either going out in a blaze of glory, or I'm going to change my mind in a fraction of a second and toss it away. The kid shows the path of what to do that day, and the officer made the right decision.
They covered it, and the point they were making was the same thing. He did not clear the gun. Again, not a cop, but watch 1,000 cop shows. You shoot the guy.
Don't watch the cop shows. Don't. They're bullshit. They're not real. They are fake beyond belief. But I want to hear what the cop shows do.
Run over, you kick the gun as far away as you can.
Sure.
Handcuff him if you have to.
Sure. So you got this kid who's got, he's disobeying commands to begin with. Hey, back up, stop moving, all this stuff. And then he produces one firearm. You can't see what's under that shirt. You can't see his left hand. You don't know if he's got another gun in his left hand, but you want the cop to run over there down a sloped shoulder, whatever the median is. The light is not pointed in that condition. I don't care who says what. It's high beam, but it's still hard to see. It's still hard to see. Adrenaline dump, just shot, and he's going to be walking over like this, so he's not going to have full capacity of his balance, and you want him to go walk over and kick a gun? Well, okay, too many cop shows.
Guy took his eyes off the suspect, got the first aid kit, went back there, yelled about.
Go to your next voicemail.
Jack Welch again, just finishing up my message. My point was that the guy obviously knew, the cop obviously knew that he'd screwed up. I saw the gun go away. He should have immediately cleared the area. And I think they were making the point that's why he was on the murder charge, because it was his fault for not clearing the area.
Not clearing the area? What's your definition of clearing an area? I mean, literally, the area is clear. You may have oncoming traffic. So what would you prefer him to do? Sir, I'm stopped. Go get his yellow and highlighted vest that I hated wearing for traffic duties. Go out on that side of the road and block it and stop it. Put some flares out first. Clear the area. What do you expect him to do? No, he controlled the scene as best he could. He put a subject down who still, as we heard, it didn't sound like he was still obeying commands. It sounded like he was still going for a gun. It's a BB gun. You're going to believe somebody? I don't believe anybody. Everybody lies all the time. It's just a BB gun. Hindsight, you know that afterwards. They will know it's a BB gun when they pick it up after the scene is taken care of and they collect it for evidence. Oh, look, it's a BB gun. But Graham v. Connor says, did the officer know that at the time? No, because you can't look and go, all right, what? Oh, look at the size of that barrel. Oh, it's got a red tip. Never mind. People don't ever paint guns with red tips to throw us off and all that kind of stuff. Let's keep going.
For the first aid kit, again, typically I agree with what you say.
Well, you're wrong on this one. You can't sit there and charge first-degree murder because he didn't clear an area. That's after the criminal intent. Is he trying to hide the body? Because that would be intent. That would be another crime itself. But if first-degree murder means that you feel he has intent on killing the suspect. He radioed in, shots fired. He opened his mouth stupidly in good faith, thinking his department would have his back. This is how many shots I fired. This is where I hit him. Should I render first aid? This was a good officer who got put in a real garbage situation, and you think he should be charged with first-degree murder? Okay.
In a little bit different light. That's about all I wanted to say. have a good point about the women cops. I know you showed that one. Looked like she was from the UK or something. Looked like a 12-year-old boy. Funny thing, and obviously the culture is just 1,000% different. But imagine that girl probably isn't even carrying a gun. Not only do the men not carry guns over there.
Yeah, that's England. I couldn't care less about what happens over there. I don't care about what happens over in other countries. 708-982-0974, 708-982-0974. This officer, as far as I'm concerned, was a good shoot. It makes no sense. Well, he didn't go render first aid or kick a gun out of his position, and what he went to go get the first aid kit, so clearly it's first-degree murder. I'm from a different generation, and you sound my age, if not a little bit older. We were shamed for being stupid if we said stuff like this. Your statement is extremely, if it's based off of TV, get off TV. Get off TV. I do not care if I offend you. You are making an extremely irresponsible, stupid statement claiming that the officer intended to kill him. The problem I have is you can't have it both ways. Because now I have said a million times that when it comes down to the use of force, deadly use of force, that it's force necessary to terminate life-threatening behavior, not to kill. The public thinks it's shoot to kill. That's the public. So if we're going to use the public's viewpoint of deadly force, that means that this guy's shooting and killing the subject. Well, he was absolutely within the law of deadly force, and he did a good job. Blows me away, is what it is. Ohio Grassman thought you had live call-ins. Here's your first lie. 708-982-0974. Call in anytime, Smoocher. Waiting on you. Steve Ladner, the kid was walking down the road, not bothering anyone, and the self-proclaimed hero is the aggressor. I agree. Leave him. Fuck him. This way, if he walks, let's say for argument's sake, he had a real gun, and he was walking down the road to kill his girlfriend's family because she broke up with him, not our problem. Not our problem. Cops should have let him go. But then what would the public do? It was your obligation to stop him and see what he would do and blah, 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 blah. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. Some of you guys make absolutely no sense when you present your argument to crucify cops. So I personally think, I think cops need to go back to the Constitution. Stop stopping people. Stop. I think it should be like the fire department. Respond only. Fuck everybody else. Let them take care of themselves. You get in a car accident with somebody else, there's going to be no police report. I think it needs to be duke it out on the street, and who's ever left standing, they're the ones who get the claim, and the other person has to pay. But let's go back to that kind of stuff. Justice for us all. The public is dumb. That's not what the Supreme Court said. I don't know what you're referring to. Steve Ladner. When I was growing up, a cop would have pulled alongside of the kid and asked him if he needed a ride. I had this almost identical scenario in 1996. Higgins Road is south, just about a mile and a half from me off of Barrington Road. And I used to, with three other people from TGI Fridays, we were all waiters at the time, we rented this 100-year-old farm home. It was $125 a month. It was big old oil furnace that actually went out in February once. It was like 35 degrees and the house was horrible. And my car was getting repairs one day, and it was not that far of a walk to get to the farmhouse from Fridays. It was probably a quarter of a mile. And it was the same thing. I walked on Higgins Road, westbound, on the shoulder, on the right-hand shoulder. Cop pulls up. What's going on? I'm walking home. What are you doing? I just came from work. I got my dub-dub. I have my white and my red striped polo and my stupid flare on underneath my jacket. And he didn't even give me an opportunity. I was 96, I was 21. He goes, get in. I'll give you a ride home. I didn't know I couldn't say no. Absolutely. He gave me your driver's license, but he ran me, drove me home. So this is the same damn thing. He should have left me too. Mexican American, you're making a fancy term for cops get away with taking life. This whole stooping life threatening behavior is circumventing the reality. I I don't drink and comment. It makes no sense when you do that. Justice for All says Castle Rock versus Gonzalez in 2005. The Supreme Court ruled that police have no duty to protect a woman from her husband who violated a restraining order and abducted their children. Is that on a federal level or state level? So when it comes down to those, you're going to get fired for it, right? And then I could picture some state attorney coming along because they want to make their name in the paper saying you put her in arrest for the child danger. Justice for All also says, I think there's a case even before that. Just a quick Google search. What do you want from your law enforcement? And I went over this in great detail during the week, as well as I did with the Jacksonville sheriff who shot. And I'll get rid of this for a second. And shot and, did this. I'll go over this really briefly for a second, just in case anybody hasn't seen it. I did a full breakdown earlier. But from my point of view, and I'll take your calls, guys, 708-982-0974. Here's this. I pointed out, look at her driving with not even touch the steering wheel. I didn't even notice that. She walks up with her hands in her vest like this. Oh, that's the backup cop. Ridiculous. Both of these police officers, in my view, had extremely bad tactics when it came down. If you saw the beginning of this stop, the primary officer was amazing. He was amazing. He was so personable, very polite, very in control of the stop without being arrogant and an ass. He was absolutely professional, and I want to give him credit and then shame the other two for ruining what would be an A-plus traffic stop. For those who don't know, the cop who's up here, this cop who's up here in front of this backup officer stopped this gentleman for running a red light. They had a tenth of a second disagreement. You ran the red light. It was yellow. It was red. It was yellow. It was red. Not a problem. Boom. That was it. It was awesome. Their exchange was personable. He goes, do you have anything in the car you need to worry about? He goes, yeah, I got a gun on me. Awesome. I don't know. I think this is Florida. I don't know if they're required to have conceal and carry or if it's open carry. I don't know what the Florida law is, but the cop did not seem very worried about the suspect having a firearm, but he's still, for my safety, I'm going to have you exit the vehicle and we're going to seize your weapon from you. I don't agree with that. And if like, I think Texas, everybody has a damn gun in Texas. Does that mean on every traffic stop that cops get to violate the Constitution, Second Amendment, and seize your firearm for a traffic stop? So if traffic stop, which is going to be a state law, doesn't supersede federal, I do not understand why cops are taking pistols off of someone for something that would pose no threat. The cop was clearly not in any threat. He saw the steering column of the car broken, like it was off and the wires were exposed. And I guess it was suggested that the car could have been stolen. Maybe if the cop was a special detail officer who had like tons of knowledge on, hey, this is it's a stolen car. This is my specialty. It's indicative of this. I see screwdriver marks. You could maybe say that for further reasonable suspicion, but I don't think damage to the property of a car is probable cause. I mean, internal vehicle damage, it doesn't hinder. It's not a safety issue. Like, oh, yeah, this is going to cause, I know for a fact it's going to cause the steering wheel to lock up and you're going to drive into traffic and kill him. You do not have right, in my opinion, to continue the stop based off of that steering wheel. And then I do not understand why you had the driver. The driver was perfectly safe. The cop had him in a position. I'll look over here. Cop has him in a perfect position. His is the passenger side he's on. And there's the driver right there. He's in a perfect position because he calls over the other two to go on the driver's side. Dude, you get ready. You can have your hand on your pistol. Do your job. Run him. Write a citation. And if you're going to write it, have another officer switch. Take that position. Just say, hey, do me a favor. The entire stop, keep your hands on the wheel, please. Keep your hands on the wheel. That's it. I'm sure somebody's going to go, all right, I'm not moving my hands. because you cops are trigger happy lately, and I'm going to keep them there. I personally see no reason to remove somebody from a car just because they have a pistol on them. But when we come back to this, this is the other view of the other officer. Irish Rover in Florida, the whole officer safety reason is abused. What do you want to do? How do you suggest we change it? How? Officer safety is completely subjective, right? You know how we change it? You hire more badasses. You stop with these fucking pussies. You get rid of women who escalate everything, and you go back to actual real men who are able to do a job without being afraid of everything. Get fighters who actually raise the standards of law enforcement. You have to be able to kick ass and recite the Constitution at the same time. And we're not going to release you on the street until you actually know this. There's a very, very, very simple situation how to increase that threshold for officer safety. You send every single cop to corrections and you have them work there for 2 years minimum. Guarantee you, if we replaced right now correctional officers on the street with police officers, you won't see them go to their hands will never go to their belt. Their hands are going to go hands on all the time. That's what they're used to. They've got superior de-escalation skills, and they've got superior mindset of not being afraid for shit because they're outnumbered every day, 100-1. Where they got to use their mouth, or they got to fight, or they're in prison. You brush those guys up, teach them the Constitution, get them on the road, you're going to get a big change. But I disagree with you of this officer safety shit because it's subjective. There's no rule cut standard. You can't. I'm 5'7". I am a badass. I know I am. I'm not going to be afraid of much. But you get somebody else who's like 6'2" and is 150 pounds, lanky string bean, never fought a day in their life, their own shadow and shit. It's like, what is wrong with you? But the department hired them. What's officers? You can't be afraid of that. You can't fear for your safety. You can't do this. You can't do that. Okay. That's why I said when I got interviewed by Armstrong Williams, who praised me for disarming somebody who stuck a knife in my face and said all cops should do that, I said, no, that is the worst thing you can ever say, because now you are saying there's a blanket way to deal with one subject when I'm just trained better. I was the immediate thing I was available to do. My hands acted automatically, and I'm kind of got a few screws loose when it comes to getting myself in some fights. People don't do that. They're not that way. So, yeah, the officer safety stuff, that's completely subjective. If you're scared, don't be an LEO, dangerous liberty. Well, your real name isn't up there. No real pictures. So are you afraid to be you to comment? Everybody's scared of shit. I've been scared of shit. I think the most afraid I ever was on a call was a suicidal subject who had a rifle at the bottom of his basement. We went down a winding stairwell. And my stupid sergeant at the time was like, let's go down there and check it out. After his girlfriend said, yeah, he's home. He's going to kill himself. And he said he'll kill any cops that walk in there. It was me, Craig, fucking Hair. Oh, my, walk down the stairs. There's a bottle of empty Sambuca on the floor. And a guy's got a rifle at his feet. And I'm like, oh, it's going to be, oh. It's like, we could have bought it coming down that stupid damn stairway because of our stupid sergeant. I wasn't scared of the guy. I was scared of the bad tactics we were using because of a damn white shirt. So it's all subjective. Aaron also, the case law says the officer cannot be in fear just because they have a weapon. They must wait until I am presenting a clear and present danger, and then they might have to take a round. No, it doesn't. There's nowhere. If it does, every cop in America should. If you show me case law that says the Supreme Court ruled a police officer has to take a round before they can use force, every single cop in America should retire today and say, we're not doing this shit. Not doing it. There's no way what you just said is accurate. And then it's subjective. Me, with my training and experience, now I know for a fact that a knife 100 yards away from me is more dangerous than a gun, because somebody can close that distance faster than I can pull my pistol and then go. They can run a whole damn length of football field, zigzag pattern. I won't be able to wind up shooting them with an adrenaline dump and my eyes tracking and this and that, and boom, and then they're going to sit there and just cut me wide open from crotch to neck. So that's my training experience. That's what I train in. I do have knife fighting skills. I do have hand-to-hands. I'm a hand-to-hand expert. I know that. You may not. So if you see somebody with a knife 100 yards away, you can go, well, I'm not afraid because he's 100 yards away, because you're stupid. So don't think that the absence of fear is the presence of intelligence, because it's not. I need to continue this.
He's very compliant. He does have a pistol on, so we're going to take him out from that side.
This was insane. I covered this earlier. The cops, they made the decision to pull this guy out of the car, and these officers do nothing to control the situation. This guy could have been the most compliant, and that's what some of you people think too. You think people don't lie to get out of shit. It's like unless you've ever been a cop, you don't know the lying, vile, awful humanity that everyone on the planet is a self-serving scumbag. Everyone is. Even you. Even me. Trust me. Even me. So you think that just because somebody's compliant to one side of the window doesn't mean that as this cop comes over, he's going to get a face full of 5 rounds from the driver? You're delusional. Oh, I didn't have any reason to do X, Y, Z. Again, by definition of ignorance, and this is exactly why I do these videos, I don't care if it offends you. I will call cops stupid, and I will call the people who think cops are fucking bastards stupid, because you guys are not trained. You do not know how this works with humanity. So what he should have done when they made the decision, even though I disagree with it, control the subject. He walks up, and you'll see from her body camera footage, the guy doesn't even, the officer who's right here from his vantage doesn't even have his hand on his pistol. I would have my hand on the pistol. I would have it drawn. I would have it drawn, and it would be up at my waist. And I would have the door. I would control the door. I would not let him open the door. I would be in control of the time and distance, and I would be at the ready 100%. I would stand, and I would have my partner behind, not holstered, and monitor so I can open the door and I could cover. You have a weapon on you. It's a stop. You're seized. Period. We're going to treat you as like this is. I'm sorry if that upsets the sweet little virtue of people out there who think, oh, everybody out there's so nice, and they're not going to do that, and these self-proclaimed heroes are the ones who are really causing all the problems. No, kids. You are. Because you don't know how this works.
Yeah. Listen, where's your pistol at on you? On my side. Okay. Just put your hands on the top of the vehicle for
No
him.
control whatsoever. They don't control him. He's got a weapon. I'm sorry. You're going to take a wrist. You're going to put it behind the back and hold on. Say, I'm going to pat you down. If I think that he's got a weapon on the right hand side, which he did, you can see she goes for it. I'm taking the right hand so he can't reach over with the left to try to pull it out. Is what it is. Jed Watkins, you're full of shit, butt boy. Just because someone has a gun, as is their right, doesn't mean you get to kill them for your safety. You want to change cop culture. Stop preaching like a cocksucker. Jed, your mother called me earlier. And listen, I can't get to tomorrow's gangbang. My day is totally full. I think she got friggin' 2 nuts out of me last time. It was exhausting. And I was 3rd in line out of 12. So it was pretty good that time. Tell her I said hi. I'm sorry, but she doesn't have to cook for 1 tomorrow. Give her a big. Now, if you kiss her on the cheek, you're probably going to taste all the black cum that was shot on her face from that. So there you go.
I appreciate that being very honest.
Oh, you're all right. Oh, shit. You okay?
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous. They have no control over it. She's ridiculous. She comes back to her body camera side again as well too. You're going to see for a second. We'll go to her view.
Yeah.
Josephine, leave her out of it. She's friggin' playing DJ watching me online today. Steve Ladner, I'm old enough to remember when self-proclaimed heroes was not every street and highway waiting to pounce residents for a paycheck and a pension. See, go watch somebody else, dude. If you guys are not fans of law enforcement, that's fine by me. This is what it is. I'm here to put out information to educate you, because a lot of you who don't like cops, you're very uneducated. You're unintelligent. I'm not here to impress you. I'm not here to wind up gaining your favor. Unsubscribe anytime you want. I'm here to put out factual information that hopefully someone out there, a cop and a citizen, will both be educated, and the cop will go, shit, I need to watch my tactics, and I need to know what the Constitution and the law is. And the subject is going to go, damn, okay, this is what I can do and what I can't do on a traffic stop or with an interaction with the police. And both of them go home exactly awesome from that day with no incidents whatsoever. And a mutual respect is built with each other. And they can go, you know, cop wasn't so bad that I actually dealt with. And the person goes, the cop goes, I have a little bit more faith in humanity today. That's my goal. That's my goal. The rest of you, tell your mom I said hi. Send me her text message number, and I will wind up absolutely sliding in her DMs or whatever. Queenie, what's going on? Justice for All is their first day. Scotty Ross 420. If you guys don't like what he's saying, stop watching. It is what it is. Just fix it already. HTX. When you were working, how many of your coworkers knew the Fourth Amendment of the Constitution? I've given that story that I was shamed of this one. I went in 2014 to a 40-hour Constitution class. So I had a few years off in between departments. And the choice was take a Constitution class for 40 hours or go back to the academy. Looking back, I would have rather gone to the academy because it would have been fun. But I chose the Constitution class. And I talk about this all the time. We had Jimmy Carter's, one of the Secret Service agents on Jimmy Carter's detail, who taught the class. And the guy was a ball buster. He kept us there every day, half hour, an hour past the time we were supposed to go home. And it was Fourth Amendment, man. And it's determined whether or not my certification as a cop was going to be in good standing. So I studied and studied. I talked about, oh my God, if the garbage is on the porch versus the curb, are you allowed to wind up seizing it? What if the dog hits on this? All Fourth Amendment scenarios like crazy. I get an email later on that said out of the 40 cops that were in the class, sergeants, lieutenants, patrol officers, all this shit, I was the only one to get a perfect score. And I bragged about it until a buddy of mine who was a cop posted online, I'm unimpressed. Every single cop in there should have got a 100% perfect score. I talk about First Amendment. I went to a use of force instructor class, 2014, same year. And the same thing. I can't remember the instructor's name. Great guy. First day in class. We're all learning use of force, case law, and how to apply it for lesson plans for our department. And he sits there and he goes, show of hands. How many of you have ever said, shut your mouth, you're going to jail? Every single one of us, hands shot up in the air. I've used it. He goes, congratulations. He goes, if you continued with that and put somebody in handcuffs, which I'd never done because it's a perfect threat, people shut up all the time, you violated the First Amendment. So in theory, I show up on scene, guy is standing over his dead wife, and he's got a gun in his hands, and you see the gun smoke coming from her brains, and there's blood all over his shoes, and there's brain matter splattered all over him, and she's just still twitching because the bullets, it just literally just happened. And I walk up, and the guy's got the gun, and he drops it, and he goes, I just killed my wife. I couldn't stand her. I decided to do it 5 minutes ago. I'm fully aware of it. Do not need to Mirandize me. I hate this bitch. I wanted her dead. And you go, shut your mouth. You're about to go to jail. And he goes, but officer, I'm trying to give you a full confession, and you're so frazzled. You go, that's it. And you handcuff him and put him in the back of the squad, process him, read him Miranda, get a signed confession from him, go to court. The lawyer's going to go, officer, when did you handcuff my client? At what point? I don't recall. You have to refresh my memory. Can you read what your report says? Well, your report's not going to match the body camera because you're not going to put that in a report. But your body camera footage is going to say, shut your mouth or you're about to go to jail. And then the subject kept talking. And then you absolutely handcuffed him. So did you handcuff him because he confessed to a crime? Or did you handcuff him because you violated his First Amendment and told him to shut up and he didn't? You see the point on this? Is I was very aware of what I knew and what I didn't know and how we have to change a ton of things in law enforcement. It goes on. Dangerous Liberty. So all I see are my posts, nothing that anyone else posted. This douche is an ignorant person and doesn't follow the Constitution. Dangerous Liberty. Call it anytime. You got 708-982-0974. I'm open to being corrected if I'm wrong. Jed, that's 2. As soon as you take your father's cock out of your mouth, you can call in 708-982-0974. Queenie, there's a handful of good cops, but there's a bigger handful of bad cops. Yeah, there is. Jed Watkins, he even had to reach back to the 6th grade to come up with a response. Your mom will always be the best response. I'm 50 years old. In 50 days, something like that. It will always be on my tongue, just like your mom. 708-982-0974. Any of you tough talkers in chat want to call? I'm the only guy who's got this open in law enforcement that will take your challenges and questions. And if I'm wrong, we're live. You get to embarrass me live if I get something wrong.
Hey, he's very compliant. He does have a pistol on him, so
they both walk this way. He does have a pistol on him. You see, this guy doesn't even have his pistol at the ready. He's like, okay, nothing. And then he allows the driver to open the door. Boom, right there, officer safety.
So, hands on top of the vehicle for me.
This is ridiculous. This is just unbelievable. Yeah, she's gonna pop off around here, and you're gonna watch where her fingers are.
I appreciate that. Oh yeah. Shit.
You can see in here too, right when she pulls it out.
I appreciate that. Oh yeah.
You can see. Oh, come on, man.
I appreciate that. Oh yeah. Shit.
Anyways, her fingers are actually. I do this. Yeah, here we go. You can see her fingers. She's got two fingers. These two. That's, you ladies know what that is. 2 fingers in the Glock trigger guard right there, and the Glock the pistol or the trigger on the Glock has a safety built into it, so there's no safety on there. And
shit. You okay? Put the gun down. Put it down. You okay?
Yeah, they just drop it. They leave it. All this stuff is what it is. Guys, you're more than welcome to call 708-982-0974. I don't like preaching. I like conversation. And I think we get more things accomplished when you guys actually have challenging statements. And if I can't answer your challenging statement, then I've got to find a reason, right? I've got to find an answer, and that just improves me. So, I mean, if you just don't like the fact I'm defending cops, I get it. I get it. You know, it is what it is. You have a personal problem with them. There's a lot of cops I can't stand. A lot of them called females. And we'll talk about that. Well, this was a female here. I haven't seen this yet. This is Miami body camera shows Miami Beach officer hurt in friendly fire on Venetian Causeway. The body camera footage, that's all it says. We're going to take a look at this. I haven't seen this yet. Let's take a look at this together.
Now in just one station, body camera video showing the chaotic moment after an officer is shot on the Venetian Causeway. A fellow officer making a major mistake.
My team Sheldon Fox is on Miami Beach with this exclusive now.
Can we stop this? It's not a major mistake, and there's no such thing as an accidental discharge. It's a negligent discharge. And the only time we say accidental discharge is for the police. We never say it for the public. If you are in your home and you're cleaning your gun and stupidly you discharge around, it's not going to, and your neighbor hears it and shots fired, police show up, you're going to be arrested in your own home with your own firearm. And the police are going to say it's a negligent discharge of a firearm. So but why do we do this with the police? Because that other officer in the last video with Jacksonville Sheriff, she's not charged. She's fired. Why was she not charged for negligent discharge? If I was state's attorney, this is what I would charge you for. I would dereliction of duty, whatever the criminal charge that would be. I would say was, and if you're asking me how, I would show every single aspect of how she was abhorrent in her tactics, which put other officers in harm's way from potential subjects on scene or other subjects there. I would talk about negligent discharge of a firearm. I would talk about aggravated battery with a firearm because that round penetrated him. And if it was even close to the femoral artery, I mean, if we're going to stack the charges like everybody does when it comes down to the state's attorneys, then if you guys are so okay with the Austero deputy get first-degree murder with the subject, how about attempted first-degree murder on that subject because she shot him near a major artery and the guy could have bled out? So until we start criminally charging cops for stupid shit, the same stuff that they would pad their stats for charging civilians, no change will ever get made.
Sheldon.
Nearly a year later, Craig and Belkis, and this is still under investigation. We're told tonight that there could be a pending lawsuit as well. All of it over the blood on the bridge. It's the moment one cop shoots another. Body camera video obtained exclusively by 7 News.
Before we go through with this too, I want to keep in mind this is another reason why female cops need to be eradicated from street work. I hope they say it in here. What I heard is there was something about the responding officer, which is her, responding to a man with a gun. Long or the short of the story is she escalates this even though he had a lighter. Once again, you got a guy rushing, male cop, because she's screaming bloody murder about a gun when there is no gun. I keep telling you, females escalate every scene because they are unable to control their emotions biologically. You women just can't. You can't control your emotions. You hype things up. Even when you get excited, the volume of your voice goes up. It curdles our skin. We have to react in a very visceral way of protection mode, as like an older brother kind of kicking into gear, and we go 10 times harder than we're supposed to, and you put the subject in harm's way and the police officers.
Shows the friendly fire shooting. It happened here on the Venetian Causeway last year. Here it is from start to finish.
11:25 on arrival.
You're seeing the point of view of Officer Fabio Bolanos, responding to help his co-worker, Officer Shanakwa Stringer, as she struggles with a suspicious person possibly armed with a small handgun.
A suspicious person possibly armed with a small handgun. If that's what she said, again, what's suspicious? Define suspicious. You can watch people, but unless a law is broken, stop doing this. Stop contacting them. Stop interacting with them. Stop pre-crime. Stop. I don't care if you're a big subscriber to the broken window theory and you're thinking that, my God, if I interact with this person and I stop them, I'm going to prevent them from supplementing their crack addict by going in to the home down the street and breaking in and killing the dog and stealing the good silverware and then go pawning it so they can, we want to keep the town safe. Stop. You want to keep the town safe? Stop interacting with the public. Stop. Just don't do it anymore. Shouldn't do it. Possibly with a gun. What does that mean? What does that mean? You either have one or you don't. I saw a bulge. And with my training and experience, I knew the information, the subject, the way they were walking, had a .22 caliber in his hip because it was a slight indentation of it was a 15-degree bend in his hip when normally the human subject has a 5-degree bend in the swagger of the fuck are you talking about? Possibly armed, suspicious, possibly with a gun. That is more police lingo of, I don't have a damn fucking reason to stop you, but I'm going to make one up. That's all that is.
There's the accidental shot fired by Stringer, just as Bolanos tries to grab that suspect. Listen to that muffled sounding gun blast again. The bloody Bolanos was hit in the lower leg. His camera picks up the suspect commenting after that shot was fired.
The hell is this? How do you go hands on? Look at her finger. It's in the trigger well. Look at that pistol pointed right at him. What is this tactic? Now, I can't remember the guy's name. Oh, damn. It was not. Hans Marrero was a Marine that tested the taser and sold us all on that. Hank Iverson. Do any of you remember the Hank? It's Henk, Hank Iverson. Do any of you remember the Hank Iverson classes? There was this and this was 20 years ago. There was this urban legend that he was going to build custom-made sights on pistols that had spikes on them. So that when you were in close quarters and you sat there, right, you got a headlock on somebody and you're going to fire and you got a class 1 malfunction. Well, everyone knows class 1 malfunction is tap rack, bang, right? That means that the firing pin went off, the round did not discharge, so now you got a dead round in that chamber. You need to get it out of there. So you tap that magazine, you rack that slide back, and you go back into the fight pulling the trigger. So how can you do that if you got one head and a headlock? And Hank Iverson had this tactic where you took your pistol and you tapped it on the side, you tapped that butt on the side of their head. You took what he was going to take, which were the barbed sights, front and rear, and then just rip it off the side of their temples and then go right back into bang, 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 bang. Is that what she's doing? That's some John Wick shit, man. Well, let's keep going.
Despite the initial calls about the suspect possibly being armed, the item reported to possibly be a small revolver or firearm was in fact a metallic lighter, according to a Miami-Dade state attorney memo, which also states the accidental shooter.
There is no accidental shooter. It is criminal negligence. Charge her.
Officer Stringer did not have her body-worn camera activated.
Hey, the blood's dripping on me, please.
Fucking put your hand behind your back! Now!
Despite a fresh bullet wound and unbearable pain, Bolanos helps hold down the suspect.
I have a legitimate question, too. At what point, and this is, I'm not advocating this, I'm asking this. So you're walking down the street and you have a lighter and some stupid fucking moron cop says that you are acting suspicious and you possibly have a gun. I'm literally asking this as a matter of citizen constitution and somebody who sees that the police are clearly never held accountable. At what point I would have no problem. This man did nothing wrong, walking down the street, gets tackled, has a gun pointed at him. She fires the gun and she's clearly shown she is not afraid to fire that gun. At what point does this guy not be like fight or flight and then turns around and fights like crazy, and including just beating the living shit out of her to get away? I would have no problem with that. No problem. At what point, why are we always as people? And again, I do not have an answer for this. So don't think I'm advocating. I'm just more along the lines of externally processing. I do not understand why we are fighting the police more. We're not fighting the police more when they are clearly in certain, we have to be arrested. We have to have our faces smashed into the concrete over somebody who has supreme authority, and we're always going to take their side. Oopsies, I screwed up, and there's going to be discipline or firing. When if this was you, if you went to your local grocery store and you thought somebody had a gun and you were going to play Good Samaritan and you tackled them on the ground and you pulled your conceal and carry and they got this massive ass road burn on their face where you just cheese grated and you drew your pistol and you fired around and didn't hit anybody, you're going to jail. You're going to jail. Why is it that we are not holding cops accountable for their criminal actions? This is nothing more than I am the police, I can do what I want. So I don't know any other option. And again, remember, I present issues so that the smarter people in the world will solve the problems. I advocate for people going, man, I need to keep myself safe. And we are seeing a massive, number one, you're not safe around female cops. You're not. You're seeing this more and more and more. They resort to firearms quicker. They resort to tasing you quicker. They resort to beating you quicker. They're spending too much time with their hair care product and lipstick shit on, acting like Joe Badass when they can't fight their way out of a wet paper bag, which means they're going to go to a level 10 when a normal guy would go to level 3. And then when the guys get there on scene, just like this guy, and he sees her struggling, he's going to amp it up. Guarantee you that even if she didn't pull a firearm, this guy could be like struggling to put his hand. What are you handcuffing me for? And it's going to be a natural fight or flight response in him, and that male cop who showed up is going to tune this guy up just because Shaniqua here said that, he's got a gun. We're arbitrarily giving these cops the benefit of the doubt when it's time to remove it.
While needing medical help.
Hurry up, because I need a tourniquet.
I know, hold on.
11:25, I've been shot in the left calf. Put a tourniquet on my leg.
City of Miami cops arrive and immediately go into rescue mode.
What's your name, bro?
Keep in mind, I want to pose this for a question. Now the cops heard shots fired. They don't know who. Okay, so think about this for a second. The cops do not know who shots fired, who got hit. So they're going to show up if they see this guy still struggling. You don't think they're going to put a round in his head? Because they don't know. All they see is one cop got shot in the leg. They see her all frantic in the stand. If they don't put this subject into custody before these other cops arrive, it's going to be worse for the subject who did nothing. This is modern day policing. So not for nothing, if you're in the comment section and you think I'm arbitrarily always defending cops, you are very stupid. You are very stupid. I want to change this culture. We have a very long way to go. So we need to see all sides for this to hold both citizen and police officer accountable.
I'm good, my father. I got you. Let's put him in the caretaking. 1, 2, 3. Let's go. Let's go.
They're headed to the hospital in a police cruiser.
That hurts.
Every bump in the road exacerbates the wounded cop's pain. And yet, his worry is about telling his family.
Hey, can I borrow your phone so I can call my wife, tell her I'm gonna be all right? Hey, I'm okay, okay? I got shot in the leg. I'm okay, though. They're taking me to Ryder Trauma right now. I'm okay, though. All right, babe? I love you.
Interesting. Let's see if anything happened to her.
And with bullet fragments still in his leg, we're told Bolanos is back on the job.
What about
We're also
her?
told by police sources tonight that he and his legal team have informed the city that they could be taking legal action. There is a pending internal affairs investigation, and the Miami-Dade State Attorney's Office determined that there was no provable criminal action in this case. Stay tuned.
Are you kidding me? No kidding. This is where you guys have to think about this. No provable criminal action. What did she seize him for? She went for she used deadly force on an unlawful, she violated his constitutional rights. How is this not criminal charging? It should be federal. So that's fine. State's attorney didn't do it. Department of Justice, get your shit together. Start raining down charges on these dumb police officers. She could have killed this man. All for what? Because she had reasonable suspicion that he was acting suspicious and possibly it was a gun. What? Now you see, when you compare this to the Ostero County Sheriff who shot and killed the man who had the BB gun, this is why the job is so difficult and why I can pivot into defense mode immediately in a fraction of a second because of the totality of the circumstances. I've been doing this long. I get how the job is. You guys think it's all a black and white scenario. It's not until it is. This, after everything you find out, holy shit. This is insane. She should be criminally charged for depriving him of his constitutional rights, illegally seized him, criminal negligence of a negligent discharge of firearm, aggravated battery to a peace officer with a firearm, because if you did it, you'd be charged. But no, we giving her the pass because she's a cop, because she's a female, because she's black. Is that why there's no charge? You don't want protests in your street because a sister did the job stupidly? No, fuck her. She needs to be criminally charged. And if this woman is still on the street, dear God help you all.
The accidental shot.
They invested themselves to find out no wrongdoing. Chris Allen. Yeah, you're right. You're right. 911 calls are hearsay, dangerous liberty. That's an absolute fact. They are. You don't. I can't tell you how many 911 callers they hype shit up, and then you get there, you're like, it's like, oh my God, my neighbor is out there and he's shooting off rounds. This, you pull up and somebody's raking their grass. What did you call for? Well, I hate my neighbor or this and that. What? Yeah, 911 calls, always with a grain of salt. Always with a grain of salt. It wouldn't be a day ending in Y or a live stream if I didn't shame some of you female police officers out there for the sake of actually telling you to get your head out of your ass and resign. This is a joke. I want to go over some of you out there. Do you even know what this job is? How can you be taken seriously? You need to be just publicly shamed for this shit. And I'm going to go down. Officer Tot. Let's take a look at Officer Tot today. This is what it is being a peace officer right here. Flashing between your half of your skin. And don't get me wrong. Some of you guys look great and all this shit and blah, blah, blah. But are you kidding me? Okay, who's this? This is by Joanna. Oh, let's look at being a cop. Of course, you got to film all this shit. You guys are great mascots for law enforcement. You are. You're like NBA cheerleaders. Are we lip syncing in this? Yeah, you're lip syncing. Okay, great. Why don't you have the stones to put your badge on there so we can see what department you work for? That's Lindsay Mariah. Oh, look at that. This one is very disappointing. I'm actually going to give you Rachel Nicole Fitt. I'm going to give you should be fucking embarrassing yourself for a reason. Seen your content, and I'm going to tell you flat out, you present yourself well. You actually do not over the top sexualize your badge at all. You have the quintessential resting bitch face, which is amazing. And you don't do the whole hamming it up. When you do shit like this, can't take you seriously. I think you are on the fence. You are on the fence for being one that could be a fantastic representative of law enforcement. But when you do shit like this, it's like, come on, girl. Oh, you were so fucking close and you messed it up. But I have faith in you. I have faith that you could wind up switching that up. Here, you're not laughing at our jokes. This is what we need. We need you to be in the mirror, fixing your bun and putting on your uniform and looking at shit like how hard it is being a cop. It's just, don't do this. You have such a good potential. And you don't sexualize your stuff. And I'm actually very proud of you. But, man, you screw this up. Let's keep going. What is the point of this? What's the point of this? Dear Lord. Crazy female cop demands my ID.
For what crime?
Trespassing at this point.
Well,
your ID.
Hold on, ma'am. Let me explain to you something. I'm part of the person. I don't have my ID on me.
Okay.
You guys.
What's your name? They want you trespass.
Hold on. Let me speak for a second, sir.
What is your name? They want you trespass.
The sheriff said that it was okay to film. So
Deputy Grant was here to serve a warrant. I'll learn about.
He said as long as I'm not breaking the law, they can trespass me from a.
Stop talking to him. Stop talking to him. If you were told not to be in one area and it was private property, and you were told by law enforcement, and then that was the warning. They documented in a report. I told John Doe that if he returned to the area, the owner has the right to have him charged with criminal trespass of real property. Then great. But if you didn't do it, shut up, man. Don't say a word to him. Stop talking.
I'm a public place, ma'am.
Chief Taylor, if you would like to know.
Yeah, you guys have no right to ask for ID in a public building. I'm not breaking the law. You can't do anything to me.
Give me 1 second.
Sounds good.
So you agree with this?
My name is Officer Ogden Badge.
You agree with this?
They're requesting to be trespassed.
I'm illegally detained right now. You know.
Damn, son. Have a salad. Come on, man. I'm here to shame the female cops, but dear Lord, you're going to have a grabber. Desampa, how are you? It's good to see you. Appreciate you stopping by.
Know that, right?
Okay.
This is an illegal detainment.
Yep.
You guys are breaking the law.
Yep.
Yeah, you are. Why is your hand on your firearm, though?
Because I'm wrestling with it.
I did that all the time, but until I had a drop holster on my leg. I used to have, it's just comfortable here. I used to have my hand on the inside, pull here. I had I had a baton, but later on it was a flashlight. I had a flashlight about this big, and I would have, so first it was my Monadnock baton. I used to have cross pull here until that taser. Then it went behind my pistol, but then it was I used to have my palm resting comfortably on my flashlight, and then my other arm would be here, and I would just talk like this, that's it. It would try to be I don't like this. I do not like the people who take both their fists and put them up underneath their biceps like they're flexing it. It's stupid. I like to I'm Italian, so I talk with my hands, and I try to be as personal as possible. So, okay, there's that.
Hi everyone, it's Katrina. I just want to thank you guys so much for your love and support.
Sure.
It has been
What do you do?
Absolutely insane.
Okay, mouthwash.
Today I decided to film a get ready with me for work.
Right.
I hope you guys enjoy.
Okay. What is it that you do? Oh, you're a cop.
Bear with me. This is the first time I've ever recorded a video like this.
First time you, well, I doubt it's the first time you've ever recorded a video like anything else, right? Ladies, you can't be taken seriously with this shit. You can't. This is a fucking joke. You guys should be mascots for law enforcement. What do you got? Yeah. Oh, yeah, there's the gun belt. Let's put it on. Okay. Oh, your little pink donut up front with your key. Oh, I have little pink handcuffs. Okay. What do you got? Belt keepers? Okay, put the belt keepers on. Right? Yeah, okay. One. There's your leg holster. That's for, okay. That's for your taser. You have your taser down. Okay, that's kind of whatever. Okay, what do you got? Okay, your outer vest carrier cover with all your stuff. Radio's probably back at the PD. There's your mount for your body camera. And you're so little. There's where your baton is. Oh, there's your radio. Okay, all that. Okay, great. This accomplishes what? Holy shit, and shove me in it. Ladies, what the fuck is wrong with you? What is wrong with you? Let's do another one. You little badge bunnies, you holster sniffers are hilarious. What I hear is a female cop. It's from Becca Bex. You're too pretty to be a cop. I hope you don't write reports because there's 2 O's in you're too pretty to be a cop. Yeah. Yeah. This is what you do. Okay, so you're on what? Midnights? And this is what tax dollars pay for you. All right, okay, here's another one. I think this may be fake. I don't know. If you wore those pants, no, this has got to be fake. Sassy Blue. Dear Lord. 500,000 followers. Oh, here's another idiot mocking the profession. God bless America. Maybe I'm just old and crotchety, and I don't see the value in this horse shit. You guys are all your joke. Nessa Ness 505. Okay, range time doesn't bother me that much. You want to document it, kind of cool. All right, whatever. I don't think I have a problem with this so much. Please don't screw it up. Please don't screw it up. Please don't. Thank you for your ass being covered, so we don't have to sexualize this. Okay. Ah, you had to do it. Hi. You blew it. What is with these cops who wear gym shoes on duty? Erica Gaines. Are you real? This? Oh my God. What was the point of that? Riley Wilford. Okay, this is what we pay you for. Awesome. Awesome. And I came from the days of policy of no cell phones in your squad car. Oh, let's look at this. Marlon Rositsky. Great. Hi. Who are you going to take into custody? Yeah, that's exactly right. That's exactly right. Where are you at? Oh, I don't know where that one went to. That is 100% accurate when it comes down to law enforcement. Oh, where are you? The beating the head because you'll escalate it because you can't take somebody else into custody. What, is it a Revlon commercial? What cops look like off duty is a phenomenon that should be studied. Please don't be a whore. Please. Okay, you're classy. Okay, that's okay. I'm fine with that. Okay, here we go. Yeah, really. This is a disease. This is a disease. These are children. All right, I'm done. Had to do a few minutes of shaming the female cops out there. Is what it is. Guys, hang on a second. Let me see. This is dangerous living. Oh, no, absolutely not. No, I think, wasn't it you, Dangerous Liberty, in the comment section? I got to scroll back. Hang on. Is that you? Yeah, if you don't know, if you're not going to have a public conversation after being in the comments like that, I'm not having a private conversation with you. Hello?
Hello.
Yeah, can you hear me okay?
Yeah, so you're going to do a few minutes of shaming? Is that what you said?
I told you to call in. You got a question, comments, or suggestion, call in. I'm not having a private conversation with you.
No, I sent you a message, said call me and we'll talk, and you can record it. And I'm dealing with, I got pups tonight that I've got to clean up after and put away.
Okay.
So I don't have time tonight to discuss it.
You have time tonight to be a shithead in the comments, but not a time tonight to have a conversation on the phone.
See, this is typical cop fucking.
I'm not a cop anymore. This is
mentality.
typical pussy hiding behind the comment section of somebody who can't back up what he says.
No.
Yes. Be a big boy. You have comments to say on something. I do not censor shit. You're more than welcome to have a comment on stuff. Go ahead.
All right. Well, let's go with this then.
Have at it. Waiting.
Recite me. You are a cop or
I am not a cop. I left law enforcement in 2016 and it was finalized in 2019.
Okay. Do you remember your oath?
No, I do not. It was written on a piece of paper that I read off of and swore to.
Well, that's unfortunate because when I joined the military, I took the same damn oath.
Good. If you could recite it, that'd be awesome. Can you recite it?
I can't recite it completely to this day.
How old are you?
I am to uphold and defend the Constitution.
Are you reading it or are you reciting it?
No. I am.
So you want to criticize me for not remembering something I swore in 2001, but you want to shit all, but you can't remember yours.
No. The thing is, you swore the oath. You knew what you swore to at that time, and you should uphold what you swore to.
And I did.
I still, to this day, uphold the Constitution and will defend America against any enemies, foreign or domestic.
Okay, so where am I not doing that?
We have had a lot of domestic enemies in this country in the last 4 years. Actually, in the last 8, it goes back beyond that. Starts with George Bush. Do
you have a point to your conversation? You attacked me. You attacked me in the comment section. You just asked if I could recite. Now, shut up and wait a second. Stop talking before you go off.
You have the right to tell me to shut up.
Because you called into my shit. No, you called into my shit. You want to sit there and criticize. You want to listen. You call in. You have you're a hypocrite. You're a hypocrite.
No, I am not a hypocrite.
You haven't made a point. I don't give a shit about George Washington and the history right now. I'm trying to solve problems now. You have no context for what you're talking about now, other than you shit in the comment section, you get personal, and then you call in, ask me if I can recite an oath. You mock like you can and you can't. What's your fucking point?
No, I didn't call in. You called me.
You sent a text message saying you have a conversation, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, no, I didn't say blah, blah, blah. I said we can arrange a time to have a conversation.
Right now.
And you can record it.
Right now. I'm not giving you my personal time outside of this. This is open for people to call in live. You can wind up educating me or you can be educated.
I told you I had shit to deal with tonight. I've got...
I don't care.
That I've got to change their bedding and shit.
What are you on the phone for then? You're in the comment section. You send me a text message. What'd you answer the phone for?
You called me back twice.
You're on the phone. So go deal with your dogs.
you know, you are one of my dogs.
I sure I am. Your wife or your mother's my bitch.
Oh, yeah. So you're into necrophilia then?
I'm into some freaky shit, so that could be one of them. You never know.
You are a sick son of a bitch.
You have no idea.
You know, cops don't become psychopaths. Psychopaths.
I know. Listen, Hillbilly Jim, go deal with your dogs, make moonshine, fuck your sister, and then call back when you have a point. Call back when you have a point.
No respect for anybody.
I get it. Dueling banjos can be arranged at your funeral when you wind up being carted down the aisle by 6 guys in overalls and straw hats. So there you go.
No.
Yeehaw. Here's America for you.
I'm not going to be carried out.
I'm going to take more calls because you're making no sense. Sound good?
Yep, you're a dumbass.
All right, later. Your mother sucks. Yeah, you're live. What's going on?
Hey there. This is Aaron also. I think you might have misunderstood what I was typing. I fat finger fumbled there. I'll admit that. So you're as an officer, you're aware of Graham versus Connor. You understand the use of force and everything. So simply having a weapon is not sufficient for you to use force against a person.
Graham v. Connor is what the officer knows at the time.
So you know that a guy has a sheathed knife and he's refusing to touch it. Does that give you the reasonable? Is it reasonable for you to use force?
You want to go circumstance and circumstance. This guy has a sheathed knife, okay, and he refuses. Hang on. You just said a guy has a sheathed knife and he refuses to touch it. Is he just standing there?
He's otherwise hands up, even gets down on his knees.
Sure.
But he's not going to, you're telling him to touch the knife and he refuses to do it.
Who said you're creating an argument that's not applying for anything. What is your specific scenario? Because I can outdo your scenario. We'll take your scenario. Subject has a knife sheathed, and he has his hands on his hands up in the air, and he has he's on his knees, right? And I go to handcuff him, and the second I reach up his handcuff, his hand immediately starts to drop. His other one, my partner, if he starts to see that he's going for the knife, can absolutely shoot him because of the intent he's portraying. So what's your point?
Well, ultimately, my point is you knew the job was dangerous when you took it. If you're not okay with the fact that you might end up having to take a round, that might happen.
Do you advocate the police officers? Do you advocate police officers take a round before they fire one?
No, but you have to. There has to be a weapon pointed at you. You have to be an imminent
Does it really?
Just like a civilian.
Good. Okay. So here's a question. You have a hostage. I don't know. You have there's a specific scenario. I was in the academy, and a person who was a suicidal subject. Suicidal subject had a gun pointed to his own head, and when I exited the car, I gave him one command. He didn't obey, and I fired. And these were simunition rounds that he had. The point of it was it took nothing to go from here to go right on me. At what point is a weapon not in the hand, a weapon pointed in an opposite direction? At what point do you personally, with your training, your experience, your knowledge of the law and use of force, is it acceptable for a cop? At what degree of the arc and the swing of the subject's hands is it okay for a cop to go, one more degree north? And then that barrel was pointed my way. Now I can shoot. Do you want a cop to wait to that fucking close to being shot before they actually take action and return fire or fire in the first place? Then you are then you're uneducated. Then you want a cop to be shot first before they shoot.
Now, can I justify that to some degree? I mean, come on, I'll let you talk.
Go ahead. So you can talk. Yes, you'll dig yourself a hole. Go ahead.
Okay, well, the reason is because soldiers, it's made clear to a soldier that you might die. You might not come home. You don't get to just shoot people in war. We have to make sure we're shooting at the right people. There are rules to this game that we're going to go play. And police don't have to follow those rules. They can get away with killing people in situations where a soldier wouldn't.
Keep it to law enforcement. Law enforcement and soldiers are not the same thing. I personally believe. No, they don't. I personally believe that soldiers, military, Marines, Army, Navy, Air Force, all them, I think you should remove every single camera and media source from the battlefield. And I think our United States military should, without prejudice, wipe off every fucking combatant on the face of the earth who even remotely threatens us, man, woman, and child. That's my view of war, the definition of war, but they don't do that. So I'm not willing to do that. I never signed up for the military, but I was willing to uphold the Constitution and balance the law when it came down to municipalities and state laws. So no, you're not going to sit there and sway my views on that. But if you're going to tell me that a cop has to place himself in imminent danger before they wind up firing their weapon or using deadly force, you are 100% wrong. You're never going to be right.
Themselves or someone else must be in imminent danger before use of force is is authorized.
That's
And
called
although I can't
perception
find
is
it right
reality.
now,
That's perception is reality. So you have to have the same perception of the same human beings in the entire planet for everybody to be hive mind before they say, oh yeah, that gun being pointed in my direction or directly at me. Well, I'm not going to wait till it's about an inch from my forehead before I pull the trigger. Is that your standard?
that would be a kind of unreasonable. And
why is that unreasonable? Why is that unreasonable?
We understand the totality of circumstances.
Exactly.
Right?
It's the totality of the circumstances.
There's this concept that, the guy's got a gun. It's still in the sheath, or whatnot. He isn't reaching for the weapon. There's all these constant,
where did I talk about anyone? Where did sans that female removing a pistol? Where did you see anything I covered tonight having a holstered weapon being the cause of what got somebody shot?
I'm glad you got to that because I didn't want to forget. You should go back and watch the whole video
of
that officer.
The whole video of what?
Of the BB gun. The BB gun that gets tossed away. Because the officer comes back to render aid and mag dumps on that kid. And you're still going to tell me that was a valid shooting?
I didn't say it was a valid shooting. If you watch the full breakdown I did of it, I said we can't see off camera because I don't have any body camera footage. All you have is dash cam footage from the squad. I don't know if that kid was stupid enough to go reach for that BB gun again and got lit up. I don't know what happened. I have no idea. If that kid was laying there and he was 100% not moving, and we have video evidence of that cop pulling that trigger 10 more times, then fuck that cop, send him to life in prison, execute him on the spot. The first 4 rounds that were shot, 100%. I am backing that and completely fine with that shoot. The first 4 rounds. Everything else is conjecture on my part, which I said on the video because we can't see what happened there. You want to say it's just a BB gun. You don't know. You weren't there. You don't know the expertise of a BB gun. So as far as that goes, we don't know what happened.
What I can clearly see from the video is that although the kid does make what you would probably call furtive movements, he does not ever point the gun directly at the officer.
I talked about it a million times. I talked about it a million times. Do you know what assault is? A charge of assault versus battery? Do you know the difference?
And it depends on the jurisdiction.
Now, I'll explain it to you. I'll explain it to you. It's in Illinois. I'll quicken this up. Because you citizens are such fucking pussies, if in Illinois I touch you, any physical contact of an insulting or provoking nature, I can get arrested for battery. If all I do is ball my fist up because John Q. Public is so sensitive, they can claim he assaulted me because you were in reasonable apprehension of receiving a battery. So you're telling me that it's okay for the public to be in reasonable apprehension of being hit in the face when all I did was ball my fist up. I can go to jail, but a cop can't shoot somebody who has a fucking pistol in their hand that all it takes is 1/10 of a second to be aimed at the person, at the police officer, when he gave him a command to stop moving. You're fine with that?
Yes, because it equally takes 1/10 of a second for him to let go of it and drop it on the ground. So the officer doesn't really know what's going to happen until that furtive movement. He didn't fire until he had let go of the weapon and it was in the air falling on the ground.
You're the kind of Force Science Institute. Go read their studies. You're the kind of guy that would advocate their sister or their mother just lay there and let their rapist finish as not to aggravate the circumstance because you don't know how much longer he's going to go. I appreciate the call, but you make no sense whatsoever. I got to take more calls. Holy shit, some of you people are ridiculous. I got to go back to the calls here. 269 calling you. Yes, justice for us all, 100%. A cop won't get charged, and I keep advocating that they should. And who's ever calling unidentified, call next because I can't clearly call you back.
Hello.
I missed your call. What's going on?
We wanted to just talk about the difference between firearm and bearing arms.
I got is Steve, right?
Yeah.
I got it. Your emails are so fantastic. Do me a favor, hold off on them because I'm so backlogged in reading them. You give a lot. You give a lot of serious information that is kind of blowing my mind. So stop flooding my inboxes, man. You got some great stuff I have to go through. But go ahead.
Got you. There's a difference between the right to bear arms and a firearm or a weapon. The only thing protected under the Constitution is the right to bear arms. So when a patrolman comes to a car and asks you, you got a firearm in the car, you should say, I have a right to bear arms and my car has an armament in it. You're protected under the Constitution. When you start talking firearms and weapons and 45s and Glocks, you have no protection under the Constitution.
Yeah, I believe personally that all gun laws are unconstitutional.
Well, if it don't read like the first original Constitution, the right to bear arms, or anyone after that, has the first Constitution ever been changed? No. So all those gun laws or any law that has you get a license to have an arm, those are unconstitutional.
Yeah, like in Illinois, we have a FOID card, firearms own identification card, and I never really thought about it. It's like, damn, that's unconstitutional. Why do I need a firearm when I'm protected by the Constitution? Yeah, no, I'm right.
You're protected by the Constitution, but you got to have the right to bear arms. Can't be a weapon. Can't be a 45. It's sexy to have a Glock. You're not protected under the Constitution with a Glock. You're protected under the Constitution only with the right to bear armament. Could be a knife. And you were correct about the difference between a knife and a gun. That knife is within 30 to 45 feet of you. Shoot to protect yourself. The knife comes quicker and they can get it out, like you say, faster than you can get your weapon aimed and fired. The knife will be going through your vest.
Oh, yeah. Cut up like crazy. Unbelievable. I got a question. How did you get started in all this? Because for those who don't know, Steve has called in several times and he drops some serious education that makes me question shit, and it's really good to hear. How did you get started down this journey for all this information?
I started driving without a license and got pulled over by a sheriff. And I rode for 2 years before they figured out, hey, this guy don't have a license. In that time, I was reading. The people to the republic, we have to read. You have to read our way out of this stuff. Because if we're just sitting there watching TV and watching videos, we're not going to do it. The same thing is going to keep happening. What we got to help the people do is figure out what their remedy is. Okay? Their remedy is not hiring an attorney because the attorney works with the prosecutor's office. So when I found out that the attorney and the prosecutors were, and you have no choice, you have no option to win if you go in there with an attorney 90% of the time. The attorney does your talking, and he's with the prosecutor. Okay, they're all under the Bar Association. They're partners. Okay, the odd man out is the people who hire attorneys. Once you find that out, you read to find out this thing, the presumptions of law. And that's one of the emails I sent you.
Yeah, the emails are fantastic. There's a lot of information, and I don't drink,
I sent you one with a video that I did. And I put on there, watch my video. I would ask that you watch that video and maybe even show it. It's on the Inquisition Network News. I think I got 2 videos on there.
Well, I'll check that one out. I didn't look at that one yet, but I appreciate that. Thanks, Steve.
All right.
All right, man. Have a good night. All right, if you did call, hang on, a couple more people. Let me see this. Jason B., you have so much contempt for non-cops. It's sickening. Toy just said, you citizens are such pussies, but you would never say that out loud where I live, you bitch motherfuckers. Send me an invite. I would say that anywhere, any time of day. Trust me, 100%. I have no problem with it. And yes, I have contempt for stupid people. I really do. Especially when I have a channel that is dedicated to trying to bridge the gap between dumb cops, improving themselves to be the models that the public expects them to serve, raise their standard of excellence. And every time we try to elevate cops, we have these insane, moronic citizens who, it doesn't matter what proof and evidence and case law and shit you show their way, it's never going to be good enough because they've already formed their bias. This is what I say. People are stupid. They are stupid. And the job of the cop to improve themselves and raise their standard is the biggest uphill battle in the world because you people, you're like crabs in buckets. You're miserable and nothing is ever going to please you. So I don't give a shit about what your opinion is. I'll say it right to your face. Hang on. Let's see this one. You have to improve. I have to improve the audio quality of the segment. Okay. Is the audio quality shitty for those who are in there? I explained software's battery. Okay, well, yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. Hang on. I'll take a few of you guys' calls. You texted Miss 10. All right, I was calling people back or whatever. Let me look at one more. All right, if you were, let's see, I think I have. Okay. See, you've got that. All right, there we go. Audio is fine. Everybody who called in had a chance to call in. Some of you guys, man, I don't give a shit. There is no progression without facts and evidence and truth going out there. And a majority of my audience was built on people thinking that I'm shitting over cops for the sake of shitting over them because I hate them. No, I actually operate in negative reinforcement. It's just how I operate, and it's a format that functions very well for me. So I'm going to tell cops, you guys are stupid. You guys are this, you guys that, because they're going to hopefully sit there and go, I don't like being shamed, so I should improve my game. But for the rest of you, nothing's ever going to be good enough. Nothing. You could say, there's a study, here's a study, here, it's biased. No, it's this, it's that. He should do this. Do the job, pussy. Do the job. It's not like the military. And it's, in all fairness, I truly think our military should be let off the leash and they should annihilate everything that goes in their path. Because I'm going to tell you, other countries' militaries, they won't play fair for shit. We're the only country in the world, as far as I'm concerned, that's ever going to adhere to rules of engagement. You want to go see how these other nations are run? They will just walk all over our pussified United States military. But those aren't cops. Those aren't cops. I believe it was in the friggin' 60s and 70s that when the news media went over there and you saw some of the shit that our soldiers were expected to do in order to keep our freedom safe, came back here, then it's like, oh, you baby killers, you this. What the fuck do you think war is? In this circumstance, with this kid walking down the road, what do you think it is? What's your perception? What's your eyesight? How do you hear? How many years do you have training? What is your ability to function with your firearm? How's your skills? Where are you? Your proximity on the road? How much did you have to drink that day for water? How hydrated are you? How's your mental capacity working? What medication? Are you on sinus medication that's clouding your head? There are so many fucking factors out there that you armchair quarterback cocksuckers get to have by going, oh, look, he took the gun from here and he was throwing it away. Go in the same damn scenario. I can guarantee you, put some simunitions on you, put you in the same scenario, and two things are going to happen. Either A, half of you are going to sit there and you're going to shoot the second you see the silver or any part of the pistol because you're going to have that knee-jerk reaction. Fuck, your finger's going to be on the trigger, most of you. And the other half of you are going to be so sensitive, you're going to want to blow him to see if you can go, hey, is this how I'm going to get you to drop your gun? I'll give you a rim job. Don't forget that reach around when you do it. Guys, I'm not here to make friends. I'm not here to impress you. I am not here to wind up appeasing you and telling you what you want to hear. We have a long way to go to fix law enforcement. And to have these conversations, hopefully the smarter people in the world will step up and go, this is how we do this. This is how we standardize this. This is how we change this. Because so far, both the police and the public are fucked in the head, and we have a lot of things to change. Have a great damn night. I'll see you live next Wednesday, 9 p.m. Eastern, 7 Mountain, 8 Central. And Jason D., hurry up and go back, man. You're